I'm also gonna have this on YouTube as well. So if you ever want to watch the VOD whenever you want, it'll always be there. Okay.
Sounds like a plan.
Awesome. All right. Let's get this started. Alright, let's do this now. We'll get started. Let's see if this loads. Good. And of course, my webcam's not even fully focused, or the background. There you go. Alright. Everybody, welcome. Welcome, one and all. Thank you so much for stopping by. I am your host with the most cheeks around, 3 Cheeks Harrington. Welcome to the... I don't even think I have the little thing on here, but welcome to the... There you go. Now, today is a very special day today, and you know why? It's because not only is it the next episode of Cheeks Chamber, Mind of a Killer, the show where we dig into killers' brains and hopefully dig up some helpful information to help us a little easier into the fog. Today's guest is really cool dude. I watched a lot of his videos. Really nice guy. He handles hate frequently, but he knows how to take it swimmingly. I'm telling you, this man is incredible. Today we have SpookNJukes. Why don't you say hello, SpookNJukes?
What's going on, man?
Dude,
How you doing?
Like I said, man, I'm super excited to have you here, man. I didn't think that would actually get someone of like your caliber, at least here, man. I'm telling you right now.
Oh, well, I am happy to be here.
Thank you, Nikki. Well, why don't you start us though telling me, Spooks, how long have you been playing Dead by Daylight for?
I started playing DBD in the summer of 2018, so coming up on 3 years.
3 years now.
Yeah, I got it when it was free on PlayStation.
I didn't even know it was free on PlayStation. Oh man.
Yeah, it was a one of those free games of the month type of things.
Free games of the month. The PlayStation Plus free games. Gotcha. Man, I missed out on that.
Yeah. So that's when I got it and started out playing Survivor mainly for many months.
3 months. What got you to start playing Killer? Everybody, welcome to the stream. Welcome.
I think it was just some dailies that I was doing, and I think I did like a Wraith daily, and I like just felt super satisfied after winning a Wraith game, and I think that's what it was.
So the satisfaction of winning as the killer is what got you just to keep playing it, like the pure adrenaline of murdering people and gaining victory is what got you into it.
Yeah, just like the chase, and I don't know. It was fun. It was a lot different than Survivor. It was a lot more to juggle and it wasn't like you were just sitting on a gen for 75% of the match. It was way more, I guess, interactive.
Yeah, so instead of playing like musical chairs with friends, you're now actually controlling the balance of people's lives in a match, would you say?
In a sense. I don't necessarily think killers control the balance, but yeah.
And depending on like how they go, like perks and then their add-ons, like they could really change the tide super fast depending on what they bring.
Yeah, same thing goes for Survivor. It goes both ways.
Yeah, of course. If everyone brings a brand new part and prove thyself, absolutely.
Right.
Okay. So you've been playing for that many years, and so throughout your years of playing Dead by Daylight, which killer would you say caught your eye the most besides Wraith, since that was the one that started you in?
Spirit has been my favorite killer ever since I first played her. She, to this day, is still my favorite killer.
Spirit. And Spirit, I'm sorry?
Oh, I just said for sure.
For sure? Gotcha.
Yeah.
So, the Spirit, though, is known for a little bit of, like, a lot of people don't like her as a Survivor main, would you say?
Yeah, that's Survivor mains don't like challenges. So any killer, whether it's Spirit or Freddy, any killers that are more challenging than traditional looping is going to make people mad. So
Yeah, honestly, you have a good point though. I never saw it that way, but now the next time I hop into a match, I'm gonna see that perspective, and I'm gonna keep my mouth shut before I start complaining. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
it just tends to be the case.
Yeah, honestly. Now, so you still play frequent Survivor though, that's right?
Yeah, I mainly play killer on stream because my viewers like it more when I play killer, and I let them pick my killers and build and stuff. But every Wednesday, like what I was doing earlier today, I do killer survivor rotation, and then every once in a while I do kill your friends, kill your friends Friday, and I'll play like kill your friends. And usually I'm doing survivor because my viewers want to play killer and kill me. So, but that's I don't do that super often. It's usually when I hit like a follower goal or something.
Mm, gotcha. And so, would you say you prefer being the killer over Survivor, or is it still just a half and half with you?
Honestly, it's a half and half. I definitely I wouldn't say that I do enjoy killer more. I think a lot of the time I enjoy survivor more. And the thing is I would do killer survivor rotation more frequently, but I stream at night
Mm,
time, and survivor queues for me at least on Eastern anytime after 8. Uh, it's really rough. Like games take like 10 to 15 minutes just to get a match of survivor, and I just hate sitting around. So
I feel
killer
that.
killer queues are usually instant. So that's what really makes me play killer more frequently than survivor.
Mm.
But I a lot of times enjoy survivor more. It's way more chill. It's way less stressful, and yeah.
Yeah, I honestly feel that too. Like I'm a frequent Survivor main, but god damn it, do they love having some long ass queue times? That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's
Yeah, I'm
crazy.
surprised that they still haven't found a way to, like, especially with how popular the game is now. I just can't believe that the queues can get that long.
Yeah, honestly. All right, hold on a second. My green screen, it is killing me right now. Oh my god.
It's all good, man. I've been there.
Yeah, I don't know why, but my green screen decided to fight me right here in the background. Let me just fix that real quick before it decides to take me down. Okay, and Beard Life, thank you for stopping by as well. Beard Life, as you can see, the first match we're talking about is his Basement Bubba match. So I hope you're excited about that, Beard Life. He's actually a killer main that I've interviewed before. He's a really cool guy, and he loves playing as me, Myers, and Bubba.
Nice. I've seen him in my chat before, so.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Cheeks, man. It is I, the drunk guy from your basement. Hey, JJ. Thank you for coming back from the basement. All right. Enough introductions, though. Thank you guys for stopping by, but we must continue with the interview. So the first match we have is his Basement Bubba time with the new Cold Inform update. As you can see, he's playing Bubba, and these perks look very spicy. So first off, Spooks, why don't you tell me what perks you're running for today's match?
So this is me on Basement Bubba Tuesday, where I only play Basement Bubba for the entire stream. So I'm using Agitation, Iron Grasp, Insidious, and No One Escapes Death.
Whew. That is a very spicy build, I'm telling you right now. I would be terrified if I ever saw that build beforehand. Honestly.
Yeah, it's a great time.
Yeah, now, what makes this better is that what you're about to witness, guys, is the massacre of a team as this man is wearing a pink hat. And I think that's incredible in my eyes. All right. So let's get started right here. Do you think they started you at a good spot
Spoon?
on the farm?
How are you?
I don't. I'm trying to remember this match. Are we watching the entire match?
Yes.
Okay.
So we just be going through it, or we could just go through most of it and then go on to the next one if you'd like.
No, whatever you like to do. It's your stream, so I'm down for whatever, man.
Gotcha.
So yeah, essentially, I like to try to figure out where the basement's at first, and then kind of determine where I need to push them so that I can make it to the basement. If I get basements that are in the corners of maps, it's a lot more rough.
Okay. So,
Because,
so when you're doing basement bubble, do you normally always look for a killer shack first and then just go from there?
depends where I spawn. If I spawn near a main building, I'll check there first. If I spawn closer to shack, I'll check there first. It's just whatever big structure that the basement spawns in, I'll always check the closest one to see if the basement's there.
Team Narkill, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to Scoop Scope Nation. So we already have the first victim. That is Miss Fuck Pants. So
Yeah.
So what I'm thinking, or what I think is gonna happen, is basically the trap has been laid. All that's
Yeah.
left is to literally just watch over, right?
Yeah, so the thing is that everybody calls this camping.
Mm-hmm.
This is not camping. This is fishing. It's a big difference.
It's fishing.
Fishing is you put a survivor on the hook as bait, or as as you would put a worm on a hook for bait,
Mm-hmm.
basically. And then you just wait to get some nibbles, wait to get some bites, and then you go down and you catch the fish. You know what I mean? It's a good time.
Mm. Now, how would you separate this from normal camping? Would you say, like, how would I make it more specific so people know I'm only fishing instead of just camping?
Well, I think it's different when you're face camping because they know you're there. The
Mm.
person on hook knows you're there. The other people know you're there. Your terror radius is usually there. If they're in a survival with friends, the person on hook can communicate and say, "Hey, the killer's face camping me. Just do gens." With Insidious Bubba, you go and hide,
Mm.
essentially, so that they don't know that you're fishing. They
Mm.
have to either assume and do gens, or they have to, try to go for the save and hope that you're not there.
Mm.
It's just kind of a risk type thing.
Yeah, that man could easily spotted you, and he did not. That is his price to pay, I would
Yeah, there's a
imagine.
lot of maps that have really good spots for catching them, and then
Mm.
there's certain maps that have really bad spots. This is one that's not too great because you have to stand just sort of behind a rock.
Mm.
But Haddonfield is a really good one for it. There's like that little small room right on the other side of the basement that you can sit in, and nobody knows you're there, which
Mm.
is great. So most killers don't pick Haddonfield, but when I play Basement Bubba, I actually do use Haddonfield offerings because the basement is incredible, and it's in the middle of the map, so that makes it really easy to get to.
Mm. Gotcha. Now there are already 3 gens in, and it's only the second hook, so they can very easily just get a 3K escape and then
Yeah, and that's
win.
why I have NOED, because a lot of times when teams do the smart thing and do gens, a lot of times they'll try to come for like a last minute clutch save or something, and NOED can really make them snowball and make it easier to get them without having to use my chainsaw.
Mm. Now, just real quick before we continue right here. Each one of these matches that we're gonna watch right now, you have no it for all of them.
Yeah, it's my favorite perk in the entire game.
Yeah, I've noticed. When did you
Yeah.
first fall in love with Noed, if I may ask?
It was really when I just realized that NOED, everybody complains about it,
Mm-hmm.
but literally NOED is an exhaustion perk for killers. That's all it is. It gives killers a second chance to do something at the very end, just like all exhaustion perks give survivors a second chance in a chase, except survivors can use exhaustion perks throughout the entire match over and over. The killer just gets that second chance at the very end to try to pull something out of their ass and win. And it only works if there's totem left, if there's totems left, or if the totem doesn't spawn in a really shitty spot that the survivors could go cleanse it anyway. So,
Mm. Yeah.
and like I said, when I was first a survivor main, I didn't like NOED. I was like, oh, this shit's it's bullshit. But
Mm.
when you realize how to counter it and realize how easy it is to counter and realize that having that bit of suspense in the game is actually like it's fun. I love it as survivor because it's like when the last gen's done and you don't know if they have NOED, there's suspense there, and then if they do have NOED, it's more suspense because you're like, oh shit, now I have to make a split second decision of am I just going to escape, am I going to look for the totem, am I going to go for the save with NOED up. Like there's so many things you have to like think of. You have to think on your feet, and it's not just like an easy okay, let's all just bum rush the hook and get the save, easy escape with borrowed time, GG easy. Like it's way more risky, and I think that's more fun because there's not a whole lot of risk factor when it comes to playing survivor. So I think NOED definitely adds that.
Yeah, like I was about to say, are we playing the same game? Because like I don't feel any of that scaredness anymore. It's just more of like I'm running around like a goofball and doing shit until
Oh,
I
for
get.
sure. That's the bummer is like when you first start playing this game, you feel freaked out, you feel scared going against killers, and then once you become good and you understand at least the basics of looping, nothing is scary anymore,
Mm-hmm.
except for maybe when you go against a Ghostface or a Silent Bell Wraith, it can be kind of freaky. But NOED is one of those things that it's not necessarily scary, but it definitely adds suspense and it puts you on the edge of your seat because you're like, okay, like the whole match can turn upside down right here depending on what I do. So
Yeah, that is absolutely correct. Honestly, it's just still though. I'm never gonna get over just that one slap from full health and then going to the ground. It's never gonna take away the pain.
It's not fun as killer either when when you're chasing a survivor and you have two other injured, and then all of a sudden the survivor you're chasing gets adrenaline and shoots across the map.
That is true.
And the other two survivors that were injured also have adrenaline. None of these things are necessarily fun.
Yeah.
But they are challenges that you encounter, and you have to try to overcome them.
Yeah, absolutely. There's always good and bad on each side.
For sure.
All right, so let's see if anyone continues to try to get the fish, but this bait is definitely gonna die. Let's say that for a fact. Now, as someone who embraces these tactics, like you're fully okay with them, right? Like you're happy with them. You don't feel any type of hesitation when doing them.
No, not at all.
Gotcha.
No, I think it's fun.
I think it's fun. Okay. Gotcha. Because, like I said, there's like a whole community, I would say, that can easily, or not say easily, but very loudly argue against you about them, you know?
Yeah, I mean, what it comes down to is these things are in the game for a reason. And people can use them freely, I would say. You know? And I think once there's like a norm to like hate something, kind of like how everybody hates Nickelback, you know what I mean? But Nickelback is incredible. I don't care if you hate Nickelback; they're great. But it's just cool to hate them. It's like that's how I feel about Noed and shit. Like I feel like Noed is Nickelback, to be honest.
Man, I haven't had anyone ever try to bring back Nickelback and to reference anything, especially not DVD. But dude, you did it, and I actually understand that completely because Nickelback is pretty good. Once you start listening to them again,
everybody hates on them, but they write. I mean, they've written so many smash hits, sold millions of records, and they didn't do it because they're trash. They did it because they're really good songwriters, whether you want to admit it or not.
Yeah, literally. Like,
but it just became cool to hate on Nickelback. You know what I mean?
It's a bandwagon.
Yeah, and I feel like that's a lot of DBD. It's a lot of bandwagoning. It's cool to like support these made up rules that don't actually exist. Like even the devs have said like, oh, don't report camping or tunneling or slugging or NOED or any of this stuff because none of it is wrong. None of it is against the rules. All these reports and complaints will be dismissed immediately. Like the devs themselves say this shit, but the player base doesn't listen. They say, no, we have our own rules, and this is what everybody who plays the game has to follow. And it's just really silly to me.
Gotcha. I see your viewers are also talking smacks, and you talk about Nickelback a lot.
Oh, I do. Yeah, I absolutely love Nickelback.
Yeah. And honestly, Wendy's is a very good restaurant, though. I love Wendy's. There's one right next to my house.
Oh, I do too. Baconators are fire.
Yeah, man. I go for like the $5 biggie bag when I'm on just on a bit of a little tight on cash, you know.
Yes, sir.
Let's see. I'm trying to. Next match we're gonna do. So in that basement bubble match, you noticed that it was only a 2K, but it really goes to show you guys that as much crap as a survivor main like myself gives to perks like Noed, it really is just a simple exhaustion perk for the killers. There's no super advantage to it. It's just like how we have Dead Hard, but they only get to use it at the end. And as long as you take care of totems, you're good. It's one of those things where like there's no real reason to be so toxic against a perk when we have whole build sets against just one perk. You know, it makes no sense to me.
And I mean, there's definitely killers out there that are have that same mindset towards exhaustion perks and towards keys or towards toolboxes. Like they have the same feeling where they're like, you can't use this shit because it's toxic, and it's like, no, it's not. It's in the game. When I get quote unquote gen rushed or any of that stuff, I'm like, GG, you won. You used the tools that you had in the game and you beat me. It's fair and square.
Yeah. Like it's always just about the mindset that you bring in there. Like I'm telling you.
So real quick, with this build that you're showing, this I believe was it Salty Saturday?
Yeah, Salty Saturday.
Okay, so this is a viewer request build. I don't normally use Noed on Spirit. There's like 2 or 3 killers that I don't use Noed on, and Spirit is one of them because I don't usually ever need it with Spirit.
So you wouldn't use it only because it's just too much of advantage to that point. You could easily do it without it.
With Spirit, yeah, I would say so for the most part. I mean, obviously, I've definitely lost games of Spirit before, but I feel most confident with her, and I think I personally think she's the strongest killer in the game over Nurse,
Hmm.
only because Nurse takes way more skill and takes way longer to learn. Like you can pick up Spirit way easier,
Hmm.
so I think that alone makes her stronger. But this build, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was a challenge where I had to let them do a certain amount of gens and
Hmm.
then try to crutch at the end because it was an end game build. That's why I don't have any gen defense and I have Noed and Blood Warden. I don't trying to remember this exact situation or what the challenge was, but normally on Spirit I wouldn't use this combo if it was my choice.
Hmm. Gotcha. Well, it'll be an interesting match for everyone to watch, so they can see how you would go in a natural environment as a killer, but not in terms of perks. Just to see how you would play, even with the perks not in your usual liking. Okay.
Sure.
Like I always like having the viewers learn something new, even if it's
Bad
something
spirits
that's
starting to phase
not
you,
usually talked
Chase.
about, which is something
Yeah,
like
if you
this.
see me like
just
swinging
gonna
at the
walk
air
around
or
and
not
leave
phasing
those
at all for the
few
first
gens
three
left.
gens, that means I'm doing what's called the Moose Special,
Hmm.
which is where I give the survivors the first three gens and then I have to try to sweat at the very end.
Gotcha.
Thank you
Oh,
Oh,
guys
and you
so
know what?
much.
I already know that it is because I
Yeah,
dressed up as
3
default
months.
Spirit as well. That's another rule. I have to dress up like a default because the
appreciate
whole point.
Uh,
Yeah, see, I just literally
Won
swung at
this.
the air. So this is the Moose Special.
Ult it?
Hmm.
Yes.
I have to just
Oh,
swing at
no,
nothing and
Dwight.
pretend like I'm ass for 3 gens, and then as soon as see,
Oh,
I just
no,
completely
Dwight.
ignore him.
Just pretend like I'm all lost. Where did he go? Oh! Right on the back of my head, Dwight.
Gotcha. So this will show then anyone can bring it back as long as you know what you're doing.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
I gotta make sure these survivors
Gotcha.
get
So we
nice
can
and
easily
boosted.
we can just skip through to when you have to start sweating. Is this when you have to start sweating after 3 gens?
Oh, I
Or
wanted the stun. There we go. Now I can try.
There you
Yeah.
go.
So
Yeah.
yep. So now that there's 2 gens left, I'll actually
Now I
see.
can
Now I
phase.
start phasing. Now I start actually playing.
Hmm.
And sometimes it's really hard. Most of the time, it's Trapper or it's a different killer. They usually don't give me Spirit with
Alright, I'm
this.
trying to get
I think
actually
what they
use out
said
of
to
Blood
do
Warden
was your
and
strongest
Noed
killer,
this
but do the
time.
Moose Special. I think that's what this one
So
was. I don't even
hopefully-
think it was necessarily Spirit, but she is my strongest killer. So
Hmm. The fact too, like Tinker is actually not that bad.
yeah,
Cool.
Tinkerer is just a obviously push people off gens, but I didn't have any gen defense because I
Oh,
was
they
trying
have
to actually get use out of Noed and Blood Warden.
Hmm.
But I don't know. I don't think I
Go,
actually
Lori,
do
go.
get use out of them in this game. Maybe Noed, but not Blood Warden.
Hmm. Yeah, Bloodborne is just really hard to proc off because as soon as all gens are done, you know there's some random potato doing a gate.
Hopefully
Yeah.
DS.
So right there, you saw that I tunneled that person because they.
Oh,
I mean, I was phasing and they ran directly
hit,
into me.
Dwight.
So
Yeah,
love
like,
my guy.
usually that means they have decisive or something.
right, which decisive doesn't phase me at all. Like I'll pick up regardless. I mean, sometimes I'll slug if it's gonna like
He's got fucking Iron Will, doesn't he?
be,
Wait, what the
break,
hell?
you know, or if it's gonna make or break the game. But usually I'll just eat it. It
does
doesn't
have Iron
bother me
Will.
anymore.
So you eat the decisive strikes. Do you eat pallets too, or do you actually mind game the pallets?
Oh, I'll try to mind game a pallet depending on what it is. Like if it's a pallet that you
so
can
the
see over and
Serena
shit like
is
that,
on
then I
the
usually don't try to
no.
mind game those unless it's really short,
Hmm.
where you can sort of try to do the slidey mind game.
Hmm.
But
So
if it's a
for
long
right
one that you
here.
can see over, I just try to break the pallet.
Hmm. Gotcha. I actually had one of the first
Alright,
killers
well,
I've
this game
interviewed
just
here.
got really fucking easy.
They were actually happy to eat pallets because they always used a build comp that would be able to eat anything and have like half the cooldown or something like that. It was incredible.
Yeah, I use brutal strength on a lot of killers like Trapper and Doctor and stuff like that. Like a lot of the basic
Oh, she didn't go for the vault.
sort of slower, not slower, but
Oh!
killers that don't have mobility and just kind of have
Okay,
to
a little
loop
hopeful on that one.
normally.
Hmm.
I use brutal strength on most of those killers. I know a lot of people don't really use brutal strength, but
Look at that live.
it shortens chases a lot for me.
Hmm.
What?
Gotcha. So if you're using a more slow moving build or a slow moving killer, you would recommend brutal strength so you can just eat the pallets faster and cut the chase.
Yeah, I like to use brutal strength. What I like to do is when they throw the pallet down, I like to walk away like I'm going to chase them around it and then immediately suck back and break it because then they think they're going to mind game it and they don't have the mindset of I'm going to run away now. They think, oh, I'm gonna stay here and mind game the pallet, and then I immediately go back and break it, and I break it quicker because of brutal strength. So that they're kind of like, oh shit, now I have to run, and it just kind of
weave around to get this hook.
makes you catch up a little bit quicker, I think.
Yeah. Now, the whole I'm gonna mind game a drawed pallet, do you think that it's just because survivors are getting that confident in themselves that they think they could just be God mode on anywhere?
As far as what?
Like, would you say that, like, there's a drawed pallet, right?
Yeah.
Drawed pallet. And the survivor, instead of running away, letting you break it, they're thinking they can mind game it. Do you think that's only because of their build confidence of their looping skills? Because normally, I don't think you should really stay.
It depends on the loop. A lot of times I'll stay. It really depends if it's an unsafe loop, you should run. If it's not if it's a safe loop, you should stay.
Safe loop.
This window is
And you would you
if you drop Killer Shack's pallet and the killer doesn't break it, you could stay there for the entire match and they would never catch you.
But would you consider that only for the longer ones, not the unsafe loops?
Yeah,
Right?
the unsafe ones you should most likely run from in most scenarios. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I see a lot of survivors that like to
Salt.
loop around rock pallets, like the tiny ones.
Yeah, or like
asshole.
most of the
Yeah,
loops
I also let you guys get
on,
free
say,
gems.
Hawkins, for example. Most of those are not safe. Some of them are safe, but most of them
Sorry that I
aren't.
slugged you.
Yeah, like
Wait, that
the
might be
indoor
big.
rooms one, the more safer than the outdoors. That's for sure. In Hawkins.
I wasn't even paying attention to this match, but yeah.
I don't know if
just realized I
we get in this
so
one.
they were all alive, and then all the gens got done, and then I killed them all with no ed. So that
Yeah.
works out.
Control, salt.
Yeah, apparently they all just kind of got confident in their skills and
Well, I slugged a little bit too, but I didn't get to use Blood Warden,
yeah.
which is fine. The whole point is just to try to come back and win.
Yeah, and as you guys noticed that even with 3 gens completed in, Spooks was able to complete the 4K in there. Oh,
That was the most delayed dead hard I've ever heard. Holy.
Well,
or
to
seen,
be
I said
fair,
heard.
it's Spirit. I mean, there's a lot of Moose specials I don't win, so
yeah, Spirit
I-
is a very good killer.
I really and see a lot of people hate going against her, but I really like going against Spirit. But I also use Iron Will, so that probably helps. But Iron Will is my favorite survivor perk in the game as well.
Thank you, Unicorn, for complimenting the
PS
bow
though.
tie. And yeah, I mean, I can understand the survivors because it's
They always
just
kill me.
the Spirit. If
Yep,
you're going
those are
against a
swords.
good Spirit, which a lot of the time
Dons,
it
like-
kind of is, like if you're going to red ranks, I rarely see bad spirits. But when you're fighting a good Spirit, they know they listen to any type of sounds, and I'm one of those idiots that never brings Iron Will, so that's why I don't like her.
Well, really, the key with Spirit is to try
Yeah,
not to
you can't
get
really be salty.
let her get that
If
first
the
hit,
killer lets you
because
use fucking 3 gens.
if you can avoid it's really when you're out
If the killer
position. So
lets
if
you
you're on a
get
gen that's
3
like in the
gens
open,
and
and
you
as soon as you hear that
lose,
phasing, you need to like slowly walk away from that gen in a like just beeline in a direction, because she's gonna come out of phase at the gen, and then as soon as she's out of phase, just book it, because and you'll be uninjured, you'll be safe, she'll be slow as shit, she can't catch you, and then as soon as she starts phasing again, just start walking. I mean, that's with Spirit, you want to just try to play around as much as you can while healthy. It gets a lot harder once you're injured, but you can still mind game the shit out of her. I mean, I get some really good survivors that really know how to play against Spirit, and I have a video on YouTube that's how to rank up with Survivor with no perks or items, and I actually went against a Spirit in that video. So I play against a Spirit with no perks or add-ons. I'm sorry, with no perks or items, and we actually did pretty well.
Yeah, bare
It's
bones.
definitely
It's not that hard.
possible.
Yeah, definitely possible. Barebone boys. Yeah, Scrubs, definitely Barebone boys. Me and old Scrub over here made a series where we made it to rank 1 using no perks as a survivor. That was annoying.
Nice.
Any killer, but with these perks.
That was an annoying time. All right, next one we got here is actually an older one you've
Ooh,
done.
this is an old one.
I've actually wanted to show people how you were even back then. I think back then.
Which YouTube video is this? Which YouTube video is this?
It's 4K in 5 minutes with salt. Then it's a Twitch.
Oh, that's
clip.
a really old one.
Exactly.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, because I just want to show people, like, even back then, like, you knew how to embrace it and accept, these tactics. Because in the end of the game, like, you made a whole video explaining what isn't toxic, and even to this day, it
Well,
really follows up
the
through.
thing is back then though, like in this video, this era of me, I would say that like teabagging or body blocking and stuff like that, I would call those things toxic back then.
Hmm.
Because I was on the bandwagon. I had that mindset. I hadn't like refreshed my brain, I guess you could say.
Ooh, so this one is is more
Yeah.
brainwashed to you. Gotcha.
Yeah, this is more me on the bandwagon for sure.
Gotcha. So
'Cause there's plenty of videos, and I'm never gonna delete them. I want people to see how you can go from thinking everything in the game is toxic to easily just shifting your mindset and no longer thinking that things in the game are. Yeah.
my buddy Rose called you hot.
Nice.
Sorry though, Rose. Spooks is in fact with someone loyal and has a daughter. Super
Yes.
cute daughter.
I am married.
Yes.
Yes.
I didn't want to put a title on it because I didn't know for sure and I didn't want to assume and be an idiot.
No problem. No problem. Man.
He made me shift my mindset, honestly. Gotcha. All right, so we're gonna begin with this one, guys, and especially the fact it's a nurse. We rarely get to see nurse gameplay over here, so super excited to see how this goes. Or
Yeah,
for them to see.
what's really sad too is I don't think I've gotten any better with nurse since this video.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I can do really well with nurse against bad survivors, but if I'm playing against good survivors who double back a lot, oh man, it's a rough time for me.
Run right into me, David.
Sorry, man. There's a lot of DJ Bob head nurses around here. We have
Oh, this is before the nerf too, isn't it? Or is it not?
yeah.
Yeah. Look, there's no charge. That's how old this is. This is before they nerfed her.
Yeah, so we definitely should get some bandwagon chat after this.
Yeah, this is when Omega nurse was a thing.
Now, what I love the fact is
good
that back
times.
then,
Well, if we're lucky,
people
we
were
can
still
see
confused on how to
this guy.
fully go against the nurse, as you saw the David plays there.
I don't know what rank this is either.
I don't know either. Honestly, it's
I don't think it says in the video or anything.
gotcha. So,
Unless I go to the post game at the end, but maybe it's red ranks.
like, I'm gonna hope it's red ranks. 'Cause if it's like the more yellow ranks, then I guess it'll make sense.
I miss using the green screen.
Why don't you use the green screen anymore?
I had to change my setup location because where I had my gaming setup was or is now where my daughter's room is.
The juicy.
Hell yeah, look at the Mori.
The juicy.
Oh, that's right. That was after the first hook too. He wasn't even on death hook.
Uh-huh.
Oh my god,
This
old
is
Mori's.
nostalgia for everyone right here.
So you have
This is, oh man, this is bringing me back.
Yeah, simple days where you could just literally end the match as fast as you want.
I think this is before endgame collapse. This is before you could close hatch. This is before all that. What a throwback.
Yeah, literally, not a single gen done, and there's already someone dead. Like, that takes me back.
Yeah, I mean that's just the survivors being silly.
Yeah, after we saw that David run around in a circle, I kind of didn't have hope for them, that's for sure. Now, did you just spot the Nia there? Did you hear her, or the Magnet?
I must have heard her. I don't know. I must have heard her breathing or something, possibly. I don't know. Maybe I spotted her.
Gotcha. Old Mori, honestly, thank God. Those are kind. No, that's a Survivor main statement.
No, I completely agree with that. No, old Mori's were busted as shit.
They were busted, but
Yeah.
still.
I'm glad they got busted. Or I'm glad they got nerfed. I'm glad that Erie Head got nerfed. I mean, I'm glad that Prayer Beads got nerfed, and I'm a spirit lover, and I'm still glad that Prayer Beads got nerfed. I don't know if you ever went against old Prayer Beads, but
I don't think I have. I got into this game more recent than other players. I've only had like what 400 or 500 hours on here.
dude, Prayer Beads used to make it so you were completely silent, like nobody could hear you phasing or coming ever.
Oh my God.
And they nerfed it to where now phasing is heard map wide instead. But old Prayer Beads, like It was the scariest thing you could ever go against. You'd be doing a gen, and the spirit would use like mother-daughter ring and prayer beads, and she could just zip across the map, and nobody knew where she was because you couldn't hear phasing. It was nuts.
Yeah.
It was super fun, but it was broken as hell. Not even gonna lie.
So it could be very one-sided really fast, huh?
Why are they messaging
Yeah,
me?
and that's the thing is like if something's busted on either side, whether it's survivor or killer, I always like agree that it needs to be nerfed. It doesn't mean that I won't use it because I don't agree with that. Everyone's like, oh, if something's broken, you just
When did I
shouldn't
become
use
good
it.
with nurse? Do you guys remember?
I don't think that's true. I think if something's in the game, you can definitely use it.
Yeah.
But
At least you're honest about it too. A lot of killers don't even admit to doing these techniques.
oh
you,
no, I don't think there's
tunneler
anything
and
wrong with
camper.
it. Just like I don't think there's anything wrong with like all the bullshit survivor tactics that are out there because it's in the game.
What the fuck did I?
Yeah, that's
What?
right.
It goes both ways.
It literally does go both ways, and I love that message
lasted like 10
that just
seconds.
popped up. Fuck you, tunneler and camper. Like the language
yeah.
that survivors start with is always incredible to me.
Oh, and it hasn't chilled out at all
the
over
dude
the years.
unhooks
I think
David
one of
in
my
front of my
recent videos,
face.
someone said they hope my
4%
parents
more.
die, and just stupid stuff. It's
Didn't camp
hilarious.
anybody.
Like, oh shit, it's just one of those things where, like, you literally, like, you gotta ask yourself, you told a man to end their life over a video game, like, you gotta just take a second
Yeah.
to step back.
Yeah.
What's more,
And reflect after
you
that.
kill them once, you can kill them.
But yeah, honestly, yeah, back then those days were scary for survivors. I would say then. Oh my god, it seems terrifying. I'm so glad I never faced you back then. Holy shit. Probably would have done the same dumb stuff as a David. I'm not gonna lie if I was that scared.
Dude, nurse back then was scary because she could use add-ons and blink 4 times with no charge, and as soon as her fatigue is over, she can immediately have blink 4 times again. There was no charge. I miss those days.
God, that's terrifying. Like I'm getting shivers right now, man.
Is this say Salty Saturday at the top?
Yes,
Okay, so this is another viewer request. I don't know what killer I'm playing, but
this
it's
is
another-
actually Wraith.
cool. So yeah, this will have been a viewer request.
Your request, awesome. So far, my dude, from all the updates that Dead by Daylight's been having, do you feel like we're finally getting into the right direction in terms of balancing and perks and stuff, or no?
In a sense, like I don't know. I think it's very evident that the devs don't play their game as often as or like understand it as much as they should, but I don't. People shit on them way too much because like the developers are super open with the community. They release a lot of bug fixes and patches, and they do listen and they do PTBs. They obviously make mistakes, but they try their best. They try their best. I don't, and they all seem like super nice people. So I get really bummed out when I see people constantly shitting on them. But yeah, they make mistakes for sure. As far as the game now, I think it's I don't know. There's just certain things like so many people just whine constantly. Like the Freddy nerf, I don't think that was even necessary. I don't think there was anything wrong with Freddy. I think getting rid of Forever Freddy, like that shit was like horrible to go against. So that's fine. But it just Freddy's base kit, I don't think he was overpowered at all.
So you never faced against his ghost range?
His what?
His ghost range.
Oh, is that like his reach?
Yeah, like his reach is just like the reason I'm saying that only because what the viewers have told me before on stream is that Freddy's reach looks bigger than it is only because since his model is smaller, that's why his terror radius looks smaller, but he has the same reach as all killers. It just looks like ghost range. And I've just been hoping that they at least fix it so I can see how big the terror radius is.
Yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of people don't want to admit it, but I think a lot of it really does come down to connection too. Like your internet connection, because sometimes playing Freddy, I mean, I'll like survivors will vault right in front of me and I'll swing and I'll hit the fucking window, and I'll have that going against Freddy's too, where sometimes I don't know. Freddy's definitely do seem to get hits more often, and it probably does have something to do with the character models. But yeah, I don't think Freddy needed any nerf, to be honest. Because the thing is, what makes Freddy good is the fact that he's got a lot in his kit. But Freddy in a chase is no better than Clown. In fact, I would say Clown is better than Freddy in a chase. Because his snares are like Clown's bottles, except Clown's bottles you can throw down and it's there and there's a huge cloud of it and you can't really avoid it. Freddy, you have to place down the snare. You have to wait for the snare to appear. Like there's a whole process to using his snares in a chase. But it's the same exact mentality as using Clown's bottles. And Clown's bottles are just easier to use. But what makes him good is the fact that he can teleport. He has the dream world. Like he just has more. But I think that's good because it makes it so he can. If it was just Freddy with snares and no teleporting or map pressure or anything, he would be worse than Trapper.
Yeah.
Like. But anyway, we can move on.
Oh no worries, man. I really want, like, I need to get your input on everything. That's the point of this show.
Yeah, keep asking. I'm enjoying this conversation. So
Awesome. But yeah, no, I am, in my opinion, personally, I feel like they should at least fix the model for him so everyone could see his radius more. But you might be right. It might just be connectivity issues. I've got disconnected from games plenty of times. Even though I was live streaming, it will still say I had no internet connection. So
yeah, maybe. I do want to just remind you too, because I don't know how many games you plan on going through, but I am sort of limited on time. My wife and I ordered some food I'm picking up at 7:15. So if you want to skip through some matches, or if there's anything that you want to make sure you ask me before I go, I just wanted to just give you a heads up that if I have to dip, I have to dip. But,
no worries. This actually is the last VOD match, and then after that, we're gonna go over that salty YouTube video we mentioned before the start of this.
Are any of those people in chat yet or no?
Yes, 2 of them are in chat.
Sick. I'm excited.
So 2 of them are in chat. You guys don't know who you are yet, but you'll see after this VOD. So please stay tuned after we finish this match, and we will talk about that video. All right, so let's get started though. This is Wraith on this farm. I honestly like how this map looks. It looks incredible. Like the little atmosphere. I love it.
Yeah, I like the rework quite a bit.
Okay.
So I think I did pick the perks for this build. I think this request was all seeing Silent Bell. I think they said I get to pick the perks.
And I think
No, not Silent Bell. It was just all seeing. So I can see the gen auras and I can see their auras when I'm cloaked.
Gotcha. That's scary. Oh shit. So do you only see their auras like when you're invisible then?
Yeah, when you're invisible, you see them 12 meters in front of you.
Gotcha.
And then when you're cloaked as well, all the generators are white, and the more red they get, the more completed they are. So you can always see which gens are closer to being done. That's
Gotcha.
the iridescent one.
Gotcha. And apparently they know who they are now. So
Guess what I'm gonna do?
the people in chat right now.
Nice.
So like, don't worry guys, we're not gonna talk too much smack about y'all. Don't worry. All right, so we already got one person on the ground. Jin has been finished, but honestly, the Wraith can be such a scary killer to go against as well. Like his Bing, I love the Bing Bongs. Don't get me wrong, but just seeing him appear before you, just doing a gen, I'll never get used to it.
I love when survivors try that like pallet tech because I always see it coming and I just get a free hit. It's so good.
I forget that's even a thing. The whole jump over the pallet so you grab them instead, right?
Yeah, and then she just popped an insta heal to try to body block. It was such a waste.
Yeah.
You just wasted your whole insta heal and I got the hook anyway. Like there was a hook 2 feet in front of me. I just don't get survivors sometimes. They make the silliest like moves.
Jen, alright, someone's like group from match guy. Yeah, like no worries. You two are fine. It's just the one person who actually messaged isn't even here, which is a bummer. But
oh, and even if they were, it's totally fine. It doesn't bother me at all.
Just so if anyone could like call her up and tell her to come by, that'd be awesome. Because they're all friends with each other.
Oh, see that I get spun a lot in this game too. Like I whiff a shit ton in this game. And that's one thing I'll always say is that I don't think I'm very good at the game. I think I'm very average. I never claim to be good. Because I get comments like that on my YouTube all the time where they're like, oh, dude, you think you're so good, but you're camping and tunneling, but you think you're a god. It's so cringe. I'm like, dude, I don't think I'm good. if I was good, I probably wouldn't camp in tunnel, but I just do it because it works. You know what I mean? Like,
Sure. Still go back and watch the video from time to time. That's funny. I don't like. It's just a tactic of the game. If people really go after you for doing a tactic that's
yeah, I don't
legally-
know if I don't, and we'll talk about this in the Myers game, but I don't know if they realized I was doing a challenge that game too, where I couldn't tier up to tier 3
Hmm.
with Myers, so that made it a bit more. I think I say that in the video though.
Think so.
See, here I'm trying to mind game this person by standing still, but they're not falling for it.
Yeah. Now, do you think? Have you ever played on PC before, Dead by Daylight?
Yeah, I got it. I got a gaming PC recently, and I got the game on there so that I could do PTBs. But I haven't made a full switch because there's no cross progression. I don't want to rebuy all of the DLC.
I feel that. Did you play enough like killer matches to at least try out how it is on PC compared to PlayStation?
To be honest, I'm a bit of a wuss, and I just connect my controller. I don't even use keyboard and mouse. I've tried it, and I just, dude, I was so bad. Like it's difficult. I don't know how to get used to it. Yeah, but that when I play on PC, I legit, like when I did the Trickster PTB, the one that was out before, I used my PS5 controller. 100%.
That's funny. I guess it's just being used to it, I guess, because I actually first played Dead by Daylight on PlayStation 4 and then immediately transitioned to PC. Because
going I think do I get her here?
I think so. Like she's trying.
Oh, dude, if I get this grab.
Oh, almost. There you go.
Yeah, see, you just gotta wait because they always start out tapping it really lightly, and then they progressively tap it longer, and you can actually predict when they're gonna hold it, and then you can get the. It's so funny. She's like, I'm gonna. Oh, I have 3 on hooks right now. Nice.
Yeah, you just killed them all, man.
Somebody Kobe. I always get Kobe's in my games. Oh no, nice. No Kobe's.
You literally murdered them all right now, man. In the middle of our conversation.
Sometimes games it just happens like that, where the game will all of a sudden end.
Yeah, honestly, and just watching you go through your matches, it shows how smooth you go through your mechanics and going into just hooking and dive bombing into
a game
them.
can really fall apart fast on either side. Like if you make mistakes as killer in a chase or two, you lose the whole match. If you make if you make 1 or 2 bad mistakes as survivor, it can throw the whole game too. It's just just gotta really calculate it out, I guess.
Yeah, honestly.
Oh, dude, I hated Ormond back then.
Yeah. You pointed at it.
Yeah, because they used an offering. I was like, fuck, dude.
Yeah, Scream, your match is next. But yeah, you even pointed at it all. I know the match as a killer, I'd never want to go against anyone in there, but thankfully I haven't played enough killer to go for it.
The old Ormond was so like rough. The new one, I don't mind the new one. I don't mind the new Ormond actually. I think it looks good. I think it's a tougher map because it's really large, but yeah, old Ormond was pretty rough.
Dude, I gotta show you this. And if you love New Ormond, look what you can do in New Ormond real quick. There's a clip on here that someone did on me. Oh god damn it! I hear an echo of me.
I'm not hearing it.
I hear it over here. If I could just find it, jeez. Can someone find me the space? Wait, I think I know I can get it. Hold on. But someone got over the little machine and got me over it completely. Like scared the shit out of me.
Oh damn.
Here, let me see if I can get through here. There we go. So, do you see where he's at?
Yeah.
So watch this man fly.
This is Billy?
This is a Billy.
Oh! That is the greatest thing ever. Dude, people don't play Billy anymore. It makes me sad.
That man scared the absolute shit out of me. I'm telling you right now. But yeah, if you really love that new map, try some Hillbilly. See if you can do that for yourself.
I might try that.
Because you could definitely get some scares or reactions out of that alone.
Yeah.
Alright,
Fucking game in a row.
but we're gonna get started on this matchup.
Watch this.
Oh, that's right. I was using the event thing that made you. What the hell was that called? This is when the blight came out.
The blighted serum or whatever.
Yeah, where I could bounce off walls. Shit is hilarious.
I love like you literally made that at the beginning of the video. Like, watch this, just.
Dude, I was just imagining how terrifying that'd be as Survivor. Just a Michael just
Literally that Claudette.
like with no tear radius just soaring at you. That shit had to be terrifying.
Like she literally just watched the Michael slid into the wall, blocking
Yeah.
her way for a sec. Like if that ain't terrifying, I don't know what is.
So yeah, what I was doing in this was I was
Like, no tear radius, that's why you just
I was tearing up to tier 2, and then I was just doing no tear radius Michael. That's why I have monitor, nurses, and then the dead rabbit.
Mm.
Because I was just doing like sneaky Myers,
Mm.
and I wasn't ever gonna tear up. I was just gonna
out here.
be
Nice.
I could have swung through that.
It's like you knew you just wanted the pallet first.
Yeah,
I know sometimes you don't anticipate that survivors are just gonna stand there for a second, but you don't want to like swing through because you'll get stunned.
That's true. It's just the mind game right there. That half-second mind game.
I didn't like the blighted serum because it never was useful to me.
Mm.
I never got any actual good use out of it with killer. Like it besides it being funny.
Mm. Yeah, no, I think it was more of a funny thing for the survivors because I remember using that against killers and pissing them off because they couldn't reach me and whack me.
Yeah, that wasn't the survivors one. It was like a syringe that gave you like a sprint burst or something.
Finally one.
I think I don't remember what theirs was.
So Jay said, I think if I recall correctly, we were thinking that you were just infinite tier 3 and taking forever.
I would have assumed the same thing. Whenever it's a tier 2 Myers that doesn't
That is just luck right now.
ever tier up to 3, I think that they're about to pop an infinite for sure. I agree.
Yeah, we definitely thought you were infinite. But even with the infinite, guys, you fucking got its totem so fast. Now, at the beginning of this match, you can easily tell that like these survivors, some of the people here, were doing really good. They had a good chance against you, right?
Oh yeah, I would say so.
Yeah. Now, it's
I
literally.
think, I think when I start camping, I think I don't have very many gens left.
Mhm.
I don't know if it's 1 or 2, but it was getting down to the wire, and I knew that if I didn't capitalize, that I was gonna lose.
Yeah.
Another gen gone.
Yeah, I think that was what the main problem right here was. Because after a while, we're all just like, we're so fucked. Yeah, so after the totems were completed, guys,
Yeah,
you all thought that hook bombing was a safe idea. That was my favorite part watching about this video is the fact that, and then people that I know no less, were they were doing so well. You guys know what you're doing. Gen rush, get out of there fast as you can. But as soon as someone's hooked,
and make that 4
the whole game changes.
God, this is in
map is helping.
November, and I'm trying to think. I don't think I averaged more than like 15 to 20 viewers at this time.
Really?
He's got
Yeah,
a
this is
lot.
before anything sort of
Probably
took
start
off.
breaking these paths, but they're just not waiting at them, so.
Well, the content either way was fantastic, and it still made me laugh every time. Yeah, and like I know Scream, I know how you are, and so when I watched you die, it was just like I wasn't surprised. Like it was funny to watch, but it wasn't surprising.
How many views does this video have now?
Let's see.
Yeah, so I'm
This one has 22,000 views.
Oh, okay.
pretty much screwed at this
Yeah,
point.
like knowing Scream for One is like a lot of survivors out here is just they like to be super altruistic and literally kill themselves trying to save someone. I don't know if you see that a lot, Spooks.
If I see what a lot, say again.
If you see survivors kind of just sacrificing their own life to get someone else off.
Oh yeah, I definitely see that. And I like it happens too where they unhook like right in front of your face and shit.
Mm-hmm. I did that for you. I DC'd for your hash. But here's the thing, though. We had a plan, Scrub, so don't act like we...
Yeah, and that too. I don't know if that Jane was on the team, but just like staying on that gen right there and letting me grab her while I'm slugging the Quentin, like
Yeah, that was Jay.
Like I just had to capitalize on all this. Like I had to.
Yeah.
It was too perfect.
Yeah, like it's exactly what I
And
mean.
then-
Like it was such a good path, and then
Yeah,
some...
and so now I have two. So now I have two right next to each other, and somebody finished the gen here, so now I have 2 gens left. And I'm like, all right, I have to go after the injured one. I have to keep the pressure on.
Mm.
And I think I slugged, don't I? Maybe I don't.
No.
No, I pick her back up. Okay.
I was just so confident.
Did nobody
in Jen
have
Puffin.
DS this game?
I don't think anyone did. No, I don't think anyone brings DS for the squad normally.
If you guys had DS, this game would have been over. I always run DS because when you get in these situations, you can just win so easy.
Yeah, Scream says this was before I even owned DS. Yeah, honestly, I was kind of right there with Scream. Like, it took me a minute to even get characters.
Dude, that moment there, I downed the Claude and I was like, all right, I know someone's gonna be going for the save, and then sure enough, here's the Quentin, injured as hell. Or no, it's not the Quentin, it's the Steve. But then I swear I see the Quentin, don't I?
Oh no, don't worry, you see the Quinn eventually. Like,
and then I go back now, and then it's the Quentin, I think.
Everything just fell together for you, man. It just fell into your lap so smoothly. Here, Spooks.
Yeah, I mean, there's 1 gen left. That's why I'm sweating so hard, because there's 1 gen. All right, so now he's on the ground, and then here comes the Quentin. It's gotta be. There he is. There he is. Hello. All right.
I don't use it
Amazing.
anymore. Yeah, I just love seeing that quick sneak peek where, like, in the corner of your eye, you saw just the Quentin pop up out of nowhere.
Yeah. I
Like,
might have heard him. I'm trying to think. Like, I was like, all right, he's gonna be coming, and then I think I was like, wait, I hear him.
It's like,
Oh yeah, just peeking through. Oh, it's so good.
Oh, that was incredible. Now, the reason why I got to this video, everybody in chat, is because one of my viewers messaged him. I'm not going to show that, first off. I'm not going to show that part because I'm not going to throw them completely under the bus. But just know that I don't condone that kind of stuff, guys. Really, it's just a part of a game. I get you on the anger part. I'm stream constantly Dead by Daylight. So you see me raging like a mother trucker, honestly. But I really don't like when you go out of your way just to message some guy about a video game, you know? I love you guys. Literally, everybody here, Scrooge Crew. I'm not trying to throw anyone under the bus, but please, I don't condone this kind of stuff. And if you ever do it, just know I'm going to be going right behind you and apologizing to that killer and chatting with them and hoping they're okay, starting with Spooks.
What a legend.
But he's a cool guy, so he didn't even take anything from it. So that's why we're here today.
Yeah, everybody thinks I'm an asshole because of how I play, but I'm really not that bad.
It's not what you told me before. Quack
Wait, Oh, you were talking to them. Okay.
Yeah, no, Quack. So you have me message that mask side. I don't know what you're talking about, Quackslav. I have no idea what you're talking about, Quackslav. I didn't say anything about anyone. No Max, that's for sure. But anyways, guys, I would never. Anyways, that is the finishing. Looking at the matches right now. This is about the end of the interview since Spooks does have to go get food for him and his wife, so they do got to munch and enjoy their days. They do deserve enjoying their days together. So Spooks, as the final thing, we'll finally do the last section that I mentioned to you.
Cool.
So first off, first question that I'm gonna ask you: do you ever think that Dead by Daylight gives people the real desire to murder anyone?
No.
No.
Not at all. Not at all. No.
Do you ever feel like Dead by Daylight is a game shows people how easy it is to make someone suffer?
No. Not at all. Not at all.
No. Do you think
No,
Dead by...
I don't think. I mean,
Go ahead,
to be honest, I think it's easier in real life. I think if you were if you were trying to kill somebody in real life and they threw a wooden pallet down in front of your face, I think it wouldn't slow you down that much. You just kind of move it out of the way and just kill them. But
Yeah.
in this game, a wooden pallet goes a long way. So if anything, this game makes it seem like it's a lot harder to kill people than it probably really is.
Gotcha. Do you feel like Dead by Daylight is therapeutic in a way for anyone who does have desires to murder anyone?
No, I think if anybody has desires to murder somebody, they probably shouldn't play any game like this, and they should go get therapy.
Cool.
I don't think anybody should look for any sort of fix to any sort of fix to to fill those desires. I think they need to get help.
Yeah,
for sure.
gotcha. And so again, you get no desire to like hurt anyone or punish anyone after playing this game, right?
No, not at all. It's like, I mean, it's like you do it in a game because it's fun. It's like in Grand Theft Auto when you're driving your fucking car on the sidewalk, plowing through pedestrians. It's not something you'd ever do in real life or want to do to a real person, but it's funny watching a bunch of animated pedestrians ragdoll through the air as you're smashing them with a, you know, a fucking fire truck or whatever.
All right, cool. I ask those questions because I like getting the reaction out of people, and sometimes you got to ask hard-hitting questions.
Hey, no problem. I mean, I mean, there are people, especially the older generation, who think that violent video games, you know, are some sort of driving factor in violent actions or violent mindsets, and I don't think that's the case. I don't think video games play a part in that. I think if you're a disturbed individual, you're going to be a disturbed individual whether you play violent video games or not. I think anybody who's level-headed or just a normal non-sociopathic person, you can play a video game and recognize that it's a video game and not try to relay that to real life in any sense. And that's kind of the same thing with people taking it too seriously in the sense of calling things toxic or messaging you after the game. It's like people have a hard time just separating a video game from real life in that sense alone. So
Gotcha. Awesome. Well, that is all the time we have here for today, guys. Spooks needs to go get his food, and I do not want to keep him holding from his wife. No one wants to anger the missus ever. Am I right, Spooks?
she's pretty chill. She's like 5 feet away from me right now. I got like 5 minutes if you had any other questions. Otherwise, we can call it. It's up to you, man.
Honestly, we got most of the questions I wanted to ask. We got a lot of tips for everyone here. Everyone enjoyed their time here, I believe. I would say, what did you think about today, Spooks? How did you feel about this interview?
I had a great time, man. It was fun. I enjoyed talking about the game. I wish more people. I mean, you said yourself that you're a Survivor main. I think a lot of Survivor mains should try to have your mentality where even if you don't necessarily agree with somebody's gameplay, at least you're open to discussing it and figuring out why they play a certain way. Because there's so many people that assume I play a certain way because I want to piss people off or because I want to make somebody angry. And even though I get a lot of salt in the game, that's never the driving force behind playing a certain way. It's just because I have fun playing that way. And I'm not very good at the game. So tunneling and camping help me win games in a lot of scenarios. And I don't think that anybody should have to handicap themselves just to please the other side. And that goes for killers and survivors. You shouldn't have to, you know, to handicap yourself. And nobody ever tells survivors that they don't have to, you know, that they shouldn't play a certain way. It seems to only be towards killers for some reason. Sorry about my dogs barking.
No, you're good. What kind of dog you got?
I have a mix, some kind of like a pointer mix, and then I have a German Shepherd Lab mix as well.
Oh, so cute.
Yeah, they're very cute.
I miss
They're
my
very
German
cute.
Shepherds at home, man.
They're not as cute as my baby, but they're pretty cute.
This is right. So you got problems that something like that's happening. All right, well, everybody in chat, that has been the interview for today. SpookNJukes, thank you so much for coming in today's interview. I seriously appreciate it. Like I said, man, you're an awesome dude. I love watching your content, man.
No problem. And just a heads up, it's not a big deal at all because a lot of people do it, but it's SpookNJukes just for when you post it like in your title on YouTube.
SpookNJukes.
Yeah, so if anybody's searching it or anything, there's no S at the end of spook.
Oh, we got
So
a
it's
badass over
and
here.
Jukes.
Shout out. Oh.
Sorry, I do that a lot with anyone.
No, it's not a big deal at all. A lot of people do it. I just wanted to, just for the sake of like your titles, if anybody's searching for my name, trying to find my salty videos or trolling videos, that maybe this will pop up. I just wanted to make sure that the name was right for like YouTube algorithm and stuff like that for you.
Gotcha. I actually just put the shout out right here, so everybody here in the live chat could check you out right now if they wanted to at the moment. But thank you so much, SpookNJukes, so much for stopping by here. I really hope you enjoy the rest of your day, man. Stop by your streams, man. You have yourself a wonderful day, okay?
Thanks for having me, man. It was a pleasure. You have a good one.
You too, man. Take it easy. All right, guys. That is the end of the interview. That is correct. That was SpookNJukes. Really awesome dude. Go check him out. I've already shot him out. Check him out on YouTube and all that. In the meantime, though, if you're still on here, We're going to go raid my guy, Beard Life. I told him I was going to raid him, so that's exactly what we're going to do right now. Let's go over there right at this moment. Beforehand, though, I've been your host with the most cheeks around, 3 Cheeks Harrington. This has been the... I still don't have it here. I still don't have it. Wow, okay. This has been the... You guys have a wonderful time today. Let's go raid Beard Life now. Let's go see what he's doing. Let's go check him out. Come on, Beard Life. Show me what you're doing, bro. But seriously, guys, thank you again for stopping by. Enjoy your days. I love you all. Be safe out there, please.